Hi, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Gates Weekly Recap. I'm your host, Tim Shirer, and we're going to talk about, excuse me, we're going to talk about the best soap on television, Beyond the Gates. Week 47. It's kind of crazy if you think about it that this show has been on for, it's been on for 49 weeks. They had a couple weeks where they didn't have new shows, But we're about 3 weeks away from the 1 year anniversary that the show has been on. And that's crazy that it's been on almost a year already. You know, a lot's going on. Things have changed. Characters, one character left, really. Doug left. He didn't leave. He got killed. But let's start with congratulations to Colby Muhammad. She plays Kat. I can't stand the character of Kat, but Colby Muhammad does a great job, but we're not going to call her Colby Muhammad anymore. I did not know this. She got married back in August to Keith Lamar Nixon, who is a filmmaker. They got married in Virginia, where she's from. And so congratulations to Colby Natasha Nixon and her husband, Keith Lamar Nixon, on their marriage. So let's get right to it here. We've got, hi, Dean, people on TikTok. So, Bill and Danny kissed, and that's a big deal. The show started last year with Bill and Danny getting divorced. Bill leaving Danny for his child bride, Haley, who's, of course, now we know that Haley she has one goal in mind. She wants to kill Bill so she can get his money. That happened. Chelsea proposed to Madison, and it did not go very well. It was a disaster. Madison was very disappointed when she found out that Chelsea used to be a partier and that she did drugs, and she did drugs recently, and Madison did not like that very much. So that was bad. And as the week went on, the circumstances between them got worse. June told Kat in no uncertain terms that Kat needs to try to forge a relationship with her sister, Ava. June talked about how her and her sister had a falling out and did not talk for years, and how that was a bad thing. And so she wants Kat to realize that at some point she's going to need her sister, and she better work it out. Anita throws Vernon out of the house, but she didn't throw him out of the house because she can't stand him or something, or she threw him out of the house because she just needed some alone time. She's dealing with the cancer, and Vernon had lunch with Martin at the country club, and then he saw Bill, and he pretty much told Bill how disappointed he is in him, and that he no longer considers Bill a son. And that hurts Bill, because Bill really likes Vernon. Bill respects Vernon. He didn't respect Vernon's daughter, but he respects Vernon. So that really hurts. He thought of Vernon as a dad. Derek showed up at the hospital and has a confrontation with Ashley and Grayson, but then he reveals the reason that he is having this, kind of like a blow up or something, is that he asked if he could speak to Ashley alone, and Ashley, she agrees, and Grayson leaves, and he tells Ashley that the department retired him and he can't reapply. He is not fit for duty because of his spinal injury. And, he feels terrible about it. Ashley feels bad for him, and she wants to help. She wants to help him find purpose, since all he ever wanted to be was a firefighter, and now he cannot do that anymore. So, of course, Ashley hugs Derek, and boom, who comes around the corner? Oh, Grayson. So, I'm not a fan of this Grayson guy yet. I don't know. Yeah, I know he's been on a lot of other soaps, and women probably love him and all that, but yeah, I'm not a fan of this guy. There's something about him I just don't like. And but I still think Derek is gonna become like a serial stalker or a kidnapper, or one of those three will not survive this triangle. That's my opinion. One of those three will not survive it. I could see it being Derek because he's not on contract anymore. But yeah, one of them's not going to survive that triangle, I think. I could see a nice location thing coming, and I'd like to say hi to Charity Magnus. She's watching. So something's going to happen there. I'd like to see it on location shooting. I'm doing real well. I love hosting my show. I'm doing real well, Charity. And I'd like to see it on location where he kidnaps Grayson or Ashley, and they end up maybe somewhere, and maybe Derek falls from a 1,000-foot cliff or something to his death, but we don't recover the body. Things like that. I mean, why not? These are the kind of things that soap operas have. These are the kind of things that people watch soap operas for decades. And 10 years after the guy dies, all of a sudden you hear, oh my God, he's back. He didn't get killed. He spent the last 10 years with amnesia or something. You know what I mean? This is soap opera. So I really would like to see something like that go on with this storyline. Danny did meet with Isaiah about, I like how his name's spelled, the Isaiah. That's not the way I've ever seen. I've never seen it spelled Izaiah before. Never seen it with a Z. And so I say Isaiah. But she met with him about becoming a model. And Kat, then Kat, saw them together. Of course, Kat thought something stupid because, Kat's a witch. But she tries to convince him to she says it's a good idea. And, she said you could even become a purse model for Chelsea Cat. And Ava, of course, comes in and interrupts them. Ava and Kat get into it again. I love how they get into it. They really do get into it. You know what I mean? They really they have good confrontations, those two. And she pretty much tells Kat to leave, get out of there. Pretty much how Kat has said to her a lot of times, So I think that he might consider this modeling thing, Isaiah. But we did see on the previews with Danny that she does admit to Andre that she kissed Bill. So that's going to be, that's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I mean, she can't go back to Bill. He left her for Haley, but supposedly he's cheated on her a number of times. It would be really stupid to go back to Bill. It just really would. So I think that, there'll just be trouble. Who knows? I mean, what's going to happen with, we got the Grayson, Ashley, Derek thing. Is Andre going to be thrown into the mix? Because Ashley can't get over him. And so we saw that Carlton and Nicole got together again today. Big deal. Nicole's boring. I think they're trying to make her more interesting. I think it would be funny if she had a split personality. But I don't think she does. But they're trying to make her interesting. I don't think she's interesting. I think she's a pretty boring character. Well, that's not the actress's fault. It's just how the character's written. But Bill has to find a new doctor because Madison tells him that she's leaving for a fellowship in Copenhagen, Denmark. And of course, Bill immediately calls Chelsea, tells Chelsea. Chelsea had no idea. And then Chelsea confronts Madison at the hospital and basically tells her she's not going to let her leave. And that's pretty much where that was left. But Madison did tell Bill that there was some odd things with the blood test. And it's possible that something could be wrong. But, he doesn't know that. He doesn't have any idea that Haley's poisoning him. But somebody else might catch on to this. So we're going to see. He's talking to somebody about Haley's been making me this tea since I had my stroke. So somebody might catch on to it, that Haley's poisoning him. So that's going to be very interesting to see. But we ended the week. It was sad how we ended the week. Vernon and Anita. Vernon reserved the club and surprised Anita that they had a private dinner at the country club, and it was a great thing. They're dancing and they're happy. They're really happy. And Vernon left the room for a minute, and he had given Anita some earrings, and as a gift, and she was putting them on, and her hair. She started to notice that her hair was falling out. And so Bill had gone. Oh, he had gone to get cake. He had gone to see if the chef was finished with the cake, and he came back, and she was like, "No, I'm not feeling well. I'm sorry, but I think we should go home now." And it just ended with, Anita holding the hair in her hand. Her hair started to fall out from the treatments. I love how they're handling this story. It's real. It's real. Everything she's had so far, she's had the emotion, she's had the fainting spell, she's had the hair falling out. She's all of these things. They're real, and they're doing it the right way. Unfortunately, I have a couple of friends who are battling cancer, and these things are what happened. And I think they're doing a service, showing people how it is. And so that's how we ended the week on our show. And it was another exciting week. We got, I think it's just going to get more exciting in the weeks to come. Remember, February too. February is a ratings month. There we go. So you always got stuff happening in February, May, and November. Those are the 3 months, but traditionally on daytime soaps too, summers are pretty exciting because they want kids that are home from school to watch. And I'm not sure if that's a thing as much anymore like it used to be because you got DVR and all that now. But I know that's how it used to be. Let's make the summer exciting. These kids are home and they'll watch us. So I expect February to be pretty good on Gates because it is a sweeps month. February is the biggest one. February, May, and November. But I think February and May are probably the biggest. So a lot's going to happen the next month, I think. I really do. And hopefully they keep getting more viewers. I know they're beating the show that they replaced. So that's a good thing. So Um, there's that's pretty much it. I mean, the fact that this show only recasted one character in its first year is really unbelievable, because almost every soap I've ever watched from the beginning has had to recast many more than that in the first year. I mean, I remember Santa Barbara. Oh, geez, they recasted so many, and they killed a bunch of characters off because the actresses were terrible actresses. They created a serial killer. But the fact they've only replaced one, and I don't think he wasn't a bad actor. I just had I have a feeling his chemistry might not have been, it might not have been, he might not have had good chemistry with the others. Maurice Johnson, who was the original Ted Richardson, because just everything I've read and heard, it seems like they got rid of him because it just wasn't working. But he wasn't a bad actor. I mean, he's the original Ted Richardson. So he's what, the first 4 months, maybe 3.5, because I think it was in May. I'm pretty sure it was in May. They had the anniversary party where it was exposed, and then maybe a couple weeks later is when he was replaced. And I think that I wasn't sure about him at first, but I think Keith Robinson has done a great job as Dr. Ted Richardson. I think he's more likable than the original guy. I just really think he is. So I think that the one casting change they had to make, I think it was a good casting change. I don't think there's anybody on the show where I'm like, oh God, they're not a very good actress or actor. No, I don't. I'm trying to think. If there is, probably I would think, okay, I guess I would say the worst actor maybe on the show, and I don't want to be mean, but probably Ben Gavin. But maybe Derek's just such a boring character. It looks like he's not a good actor. I don't know. But he's not the, I don't know. If I had to pick one, like I said, I don't want to be mean, but I think that I think it's a good cast. I mean, it's a good cast. And Phil, look, I've not said terrible things about Ashley lately. And when I Google the cast of Beyond the Gates, it doesn't come up with her picture blank anymore like it did for a while. So that's going to be it, I think, for this week, though. And next week we'll be back for another recap of the best soap on TV. I hope everybody has a good week. I hope everybody stays warm. I know a lot of the country's cold right now. Where I'm at, it's very cold. And I hope it warms up. But until next week, maybe I'll see you somewhere around Fairmount Crest.